I also made the case for owning Bitcoin, the quintessence of scarcity premium. It's literally the only large tradable asset in the world that has a known fixed maximum supply. By its design, the total quantity of Bitcoins cannot exceed 21 million.
Bitcoin is the hardest money that has ever been invented.
If you don't have my private key, you cannot spend my Bitcoin, period. And this is the power of Bitcoin.
It's the first time we figured out how to create true property that you can take possession of with full custodial rights.
Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking in Bits Solo Rip Edition, the side chain, because the main chain, if y'all don't know, is on Wednesdays where I have some of the best Bitcoiners. I'm actually waiting on one right now as I'm recording in TFTC studios at the Bitcoin Commons here in the Mecca in Austin, Texas. Got a lot of big news coming for Talking in Bits when it relates to TFTC studios in the Bitcoin Commons, and I look forward to getting that to y'all. So I've been busy sticking and moving. This solo rip, as you guys know, is the weekend episodes, and they're more to be concise. They're more to be ammunition of topics that you can go off into your day-to-day conversations and have with other people. Sometimes you can come back to me in a boost, and we could talk about it in different arenas. So as I'm waiting for my guest, which is about 15 minutes or so, I decided I needed to get this solo rip in because I've been so damn busy that I wasn't able to get one in during the week. And I can't leave y'all without a solo rip. I appreciate every single one of y'all because y'all been coming through and giving me all the value that you can give me. And that is a barometer for me that I'm doing the good things and I'm spreading Satoshi's word and I'm giving nothing but signal, because I'm pretty sure 99.9 of the people listening wouldn't fuck with me if they were basically being forced to listen to this and there was no signal whatsoever. So I do have my phone in front of me. I usually have my laptop in front of me. Hopefully we're not getting some crazy feedback, because one of the downsides of being your own producer is that you can't monitor the camera, you can't monitor the audio while you're actually recording for yourself. So hopefully it's not that bad. I don't think it will be. Once again, guys, continued support is important. A lot of big things coming out of Talking in Bits, a lot of big things coming down the pipeline. And I just came out of a meeting that, maybe even a month ago, I wouldn't even fathom even having. So because of you guys and because of the love that you guys are providing, and I'm about to give y'all a shout out right now, specifically to those that are giving the value, this has been able to happen. Talking in Bits has been able to get to the level that it's about to get with an announcement coming here, hopefully in a few weeks. Very productive meetings lately, very productive guests coming on, very knowledgeable guests coming on, and I couldn't be more grateful. This wouldn't be possible without the good listeners. So if you're a first-time listener, subscribe to the show. That'll be most important. Share with a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. One of those type of deals, and check out the main chain episodes where your favorite podcasters are probably on. Also realize that, and this is not to boast, this is just so you guys understand how much work I'm putting in and how passionate I am about RSS feeds and free speech and Bitcoin. Most of your favorite podcasters that you're listening to now, I'm probably behind the scenes producing their shows and getting that going. Maybe not all your favorite podcasters, but a few big names, and not to boast, so I won't even say any of those names because the work is more important and the mission of free speech is more important. But I want to give shout outs here to the boosters. Dirty Jersey Whore, we're going to roll with delegators and voters. I like that whole concept. For y'all that didn't listen to last week's solo rip, Dirty Jersey Whore recommended that since I don't have a name for the tribe yet, I don't have a name for the Talking in Bits heads, that I would basically call the people that leave a boost voters, because they actually are, communicating and telling me how to improve the show and how to get better. And then anybody who just stream sats to the show are delegates, which I appreciate as well. So let's go through the delegates list first. If you want to be a voter and consider yourself a voter, then please leave a boost down below. Please let me know what guest you want to have on the show on the main chain. Please let me know what topics you want to hear. Please let me know if you're loving it, if you're hating it. All that stuff is valuable. Leave a boost and be a voter. But for the delegators, at Spiral, I see you, man, listening to the show. I appreciate that value that you're sending through. Oh man, I hope I didn't get this wrong. Indentanto 913, and that could be my autocorrect here on the notes for Apple here, which is garbage. That kind of butchered that. But Patar, Good sir, you've been with me for a little while now. You've been streaming sats to the show. I truly appreciate you. Your sats don't go unnoticed, man. You, once again, early supporter of the show and continued supporter of the show. At Petri, same thing, man. I've seen you around for a little while. I appreciate the support and love. At Jason Rich, one of my favorite ranchers. One of the most based guys that I know, and he just happens to be one of the hardest working guys I know. So thanks for coming by, Jason, and giving some sats there. Crankle Don, you're back, man, and I appreciate that. I know you told me a few episodes ago you weren't really feeling the verbiage, but thanks for coming back. Dirty Jersey Whore, this idea is all yours. I appreciate you for that. Actually, before I even started recording, Dirty Jersey Whore dropped a random sat drop just to say, hey, man, I'm seeing you out here. So he wasn't listening to an episode. He just wanted to drop some sats. I appreciate you for that. So that actually puts you in the voter column too. Not only are you a delegate for streaming, but you're a voter as well. So shout out to you for that. Who we got here? The Wild Hustle keeps coming back. Appreciate you for leaving them sats there. I am Texas Slim. Good sir. I appreciate you. Or let's be honest here, whoever's running your account, I appreciate you. Rage as fuck. Rage with the backwards 3 AF. Hey, I hope you're liking the content. Become a voter and let me know what you like, what you don't like. And as for the voters, we got Gene. Gene's been coming around, man. He's making sure that he's not a last-time listener, always supporting the show, and I appreciate you, Gene. And I am Texas Slim. Once again, you were a voter. You left the boost with some comments telling me to continue ripping, and I appreciate that. Just to kind of breeze through this stuff, I don't have my laptop in front of me as usual, but I'm going to try to rant on a few things here before my guest shows up. It was White Paper Day. Most people contribute Halloween to costumes, and it should be, especially if you got kids. Trick-or-treating is fun. I took out the kids for the first time here in Austin trick-or-treating, and I thought it was a really fun time. Even trick-or-treating is better in Texas. As I was telling my wife, it was a lot of fun. But it was White Paper Day on Halloween, and White Paper Day 2008, I believe. I'm not a historian by any stretch of the imagination. Satoshi bestowed upon the world in an email thread the white paper, the infamous white paper, which I think Jack Dorsey actually called one of the pivotal computer science papers that was pushed out in the last 30 years or something like that. I just butchered what Jack Dorsey said, but I think you guys understand where I'm going with this. We should all be humbled and all be excited of where Bitcoin is going and where Bitcoin has to go, because it has a lot to grow and a lot of room for improvement. But also thankful that Satoshi group, person, he, she, whatever it may be, bestowed upon us freedom technology and the ability for me to be in this room and giving this conversation and talking to y'all about the truth and thrusting upon us to the world the ultimate truth engine, the ultimate machine that only runs on truth when it comes to transactions and when it comes to value exchange. So whether it was an accident Satoshi or whether it was intentional Satoshi, you literally have saved the world or have given us the spear that we need to save the world. And for that, good sir or good lady or whatever, good alien, some people think that Satoshi was an alien, we're extremely humbled, and we're continuing to spread the word for you, and we're continuing to make Bitcoin decentralized and letting it solve most of the problems in the world that are caused by the monetary system. So White Paper Day was huge for me, should be huge for all of y'all, should be a national holiday, maybe one day it will be, but on that day in 2008 the world has changed, my life has changed, and so many others' lives has changed, and it's super important. So Eric Snowden shared the white paper. I believe it was on that day, maybe after, and fake Toshi, Craig Wright, jumped in his comments and basically tried to say, hey, I'm not anonymous, man. I'm actually here. And he got wrecked. All right, so Snowden came back and said, hey, do you remember this hot or not situation where you basically got wrecked and got, basically told that you are a bullshit liar? And it was actually a funny exchange. It's that meme where the two girls are fighting on the beach and the bong smoker is basically just like smoking his bong and watching what's going on. That what was happening. All Bitcoiners jumped into that thread and were basically like, get wrecked, Craig Wright, get freaking wrecked. So I found that extremely hilarious, and I thought most of y'all should find it hilarious as well. But on bigger news, Snowden sharing the white papers, Snowden just getting his citizenship in Russia. There's a lot of things that are moving there in the background that I think are extremely important and that could be related down the road. But, just Snowden giving that bow to Satoshi and the white paper and Bitcoin and giving that endorsement, it's a really big thing. And it's fun and exciting to see that, the people that have, that are in our eyes, privacy leaders, I can't really think of a better term, can actually, share our enthusiasm with Bitcoin and what it can do. I think is very fascinating stuff. And that makes me extremely happy. And I'm going to keep breezing through these topics, but on a sadder note, L&D, second bug in about a month. And I don't know if this is true or not, but this bug was actually disclosed beforehand and could have been avoided. But either way, arguably the number one Lightning implementation in the world now suffered 2 bugs back to back where users could have lost money, and maybe some users have lost money. And, on this podcast, I'm a big advocate for RSS feeds and Lightning, and we continue to talk about how Lightning is ready. And I still think it is. There's other flavors of Lightning. I remember Keon coming on the podcast and talking to me about how we should think about the Lightning instances as, web browsers. Like some people like Chrome, some people like Mozilla, Firefox, some people like Brave. They're all interchangeable. You can all go to the same www websites, but ultimately, it's one of those things where it continues to, it has a bug basically, and that's not good. If anybody lost funds, that actually sucks. But I still think Lightning is ready, and those bugs, both of them were patched extremely quick, and it's better to find these bugs early than to find them later. But it is worth noting that this stuff isn't perfect, and this stuff still needs to be worked on. And I'm thankful, and which is why we donate 5% of all the sats that get streamed here to OpenSats for the developers that are basically taking care of this stuff for us, so that we don't have to worry about our wealth come down the road. So that's happened, and I hope it doesn't happen again. But I've also been trying to experiment with C Lightning because I need to figure out my Lightning implementation, because my next step is to, host Talking in Bits from my own node, like Echo is doing and BTC Pay Server is doing. So I want to make sure that my Lightning channels are all set, and I want to make sure that I understand the implementation I'm rolling with, so that I could actually host Talking in Bits and further decentralize the show, which is a big mission of mine and something very important that I'm starting to look into here. If anybody that's in the space that, has been thinking about doing a podcast, I think now is the time. I think some of the work that Talking in Bits is going to be doing in the next few months is going to be leading that charge. And I hope you guys follow on that journey, but also take advantage of it yourself. We all have something to say. We all have something that's important. And some people relate to us, to you, specifically the person I'm talking to, more than they would relate to me. And this information is better when it's decentralized, meaning that I could give you my spill of things, but you, the listener, can give your own version or your own iteration or your own opinion of that same exact thing. Therefore, some people would agree with you, wouldn't agree with me, and you have your earned share of the free market airtime. I think that's extremely important. I'm not one of those guys that think there's too many Bitcoin podcasts. I'm also not one of the guys that thinks there's too many podcasts general. I think the free market chooses. The podcasts that you have on your phone are different than the podcast I have on my phone. Some of them may be the same, but it just shows. It's like clothing, right? It's like you have a different pair of shoes and a different outfit, and so do I. I have a different flavor. So there's always room for your podcast to be grown and to be in that space as well. And I think you should take advantage of that. And I think eventually the more we decentralize these things, the better we are at figuring this stuff out. So it's extremely important that if you have a podcast, you go ahead and definitely try to get your RSS feed behind your own node so you could decentralize that and make sure we work on free speech, which I think is super important. I don't think there's any secret here that Bitcoiners are so ambitious and so poised to be able to tackle different big world problems, right? So, you got the crowd health of the world trying to solve healthcare. Obviously Bitcoiners are trying to solve money. Beef Initiative is trying to solve food, right? Well, we can also address free speech, and with censorship being at an all-time high of being blocked, you think about like the high-profile people like Kanye and stuff. Well, with RSS feeds and with Lightning, we actually afford that ability to be able to decentralize free speech and be able to fight that. And that's something that I'm super passionate about. So if you're thinking about a podcast, don't hesitate. Now's the time to do it. We need to decentralize speech. I got my guest that just showed up. What's up, Sahil? How you doing? Hey, likewise, man. So I'm just going to wrap this solo rep up here so we can get started with Sahil. Please make sure, now that you're here, to check out the main chain episode that's going to be featuring Sahil We're going to talk about a lot of cool stuff. But I had one more topic here that's basically miners getting wrecked or mining companies getting wrecked. Hey, if you leverage yourself, and that's in buying Bitcoin or buying ASICs, you're probably going to get wrecked. Bitcoin doesn't care about your loans and your debt and all that you got going on. So I think this is global advice for any Bitcoiners. Stop leveraging yourself. You're probably going to get wrecked if you do so. But yeah, that was my last topic that I have for y'all. I'm going to wrap up this solo rip because they're nice, small, and concise, and I'm about to have a broader conversation. But you know where to find the show. We appreciate all the sats that you stream. Remember, you could be a delegate or you can be a voter. That's completely up to you. Delegates are the ones that just listen to the show and stream some sats, and the voters are the ones that leave us a boost and let us know how to improve, let us know what they want to hear, what guests they want to have on. So it's up to you where you want to fit in, but we appreciate the sats either way. Value for Value is where you can find this podcast and keep it decentralized. Fountain and Breeze, those are our two favorite ways to do it, just because you can load them up on the phone, get a wallet going, and start streaming some sats. But you can find us on all podcasting 2.0 supported apps out there. When it comes to the video, 4K video, you can check us out on Bitcoin TV. That's the place you want to go. That's the place we want people to start navigating to, so we can get away from all these nasty algorithms out here, these YouTubes of the world. And you can check us out there. If you haven't moved over to the Bitcoin standard of media and you're still stuck on those legacy outlets, well, that's absolutely fine. You can check us out on YouTube. You can check us out on Spotify, all those places. Rate, share, and subscribe. Those things that flirt with the algorithm. That's going to help us get the signal across. But hopefully the mission here in Talking in Bits is to eventually get you over to the Bitcoin standard of media, which is the safe haven, the decentralized haven, and the place where we can have open conversation without worrying about the algorithm shutting us down. So I appreciate y'all as always. I'll catch y'all on the main chain episode and another solo rip next weekend. Later.